You motherfucking tube.
It's your boy Rollo Jenkins. Man, I've been watching all the post-fight videos. And, Bradley Marquez. Believe it or not, I myself, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I had a trip planned to go visit my brother and hang out, for the day before the fight was, finalized or announced or whatever. So, that's what I ended up doing. I get back home and, click on YouTube and see what everybody's saying about the fight. So I can't wait to actually watch the fight, and to be able to make my own assessment of the fight. I did pick Bradley to win. I thought that he would win fairly easy. I thought he would outbox him in a fashion, similar fashion that Floyd Mayweather did in his return back in 2009. Like I said, again, I haven't seen the fight yet, so I guess I'll have to make another video and revisit that once I do actually get to see the fight. But with knowing the outcome of the fight, wouldn't this be a perfect time to not only bury the hatchet, but cook up the hatchet between Top Rank and Golden Boy? I've stated this in prior videos that they could do a fucking cross promotion 24/7 all access videos or shows, you know what I'm saying, and just the negotiations between Top Rank and Golden Boy. That shit might be more interesting than any 24/7 or all access that we've seen of boxers. But proceeding with that, let's say you get let's take Bradley versus Floyd Mayweather. Now, as Bob Arum has stated before, and other motherfuckers like to put out, that Bradley isn't a big draw, right? Which is even more reason for Bob Arum to go ahead and put him in there with Mayweather. You get this fight, two undefeated African-American fighters, right? You make this fight happen, and what you do is you can start off a show, let's call it, like, you can do a 24/7 style show for both networks, and where they go through the negotiations and all of that shit and trying to make the fights happen and all of that. Talk about why the shit went sour before and all of that shit. Then when the fights finally get made, what you can do is HBO has its 24/7. So let's say in the negotiations we get a finalized fight card. Mayweather versus Bradley, Rigondeaux versus Abner Mares. Let's take a lesser known guy, Mikey Garcia versus Gary Russell Jr. How about that shit, right? So then you can put together this big promo, and you can get all the top ranked fighters together, and and they could talk about how they could talk about how they're gonna beat the other fighters and all of that shit, and then Showtime could do the same thing, and then you make a 24/7. So typically a 24/7 would go, Bradley Marquez, whatever. So you have two sets of film crews that go around, and do it for two fighters or whatever. But in this case, HBO would take their crews and go to Bradley's camp and maybe Abner Morris's camp, or whoever would be the co-main event, Rigondeaux's camp or Mikey Garcia's camp, and you do a 24/7 with those two fighters, even though they're not fighting each other. You do the 24/7 with those two fighters, and Showtime does their all access with Mayweather and, Gary Russell Jr. or Abner Morris, depending on who they pick for the co-main event or the undercard main fight for the undercard. And it sets up a cross promotion out of this world, because they did it for Tyson Lewis, so I know they're willing to work together. And the only thing that can't happen is a whole lot of fucking money getting made. That's the only thing that could possibly happen. A whole lot of people make a whole lot of money, and a lot of good ass fights get made, and HBO can use all of their promotional muscle, their sister, brother networks or whatever, and same thing with Showtime, and you get this shit out here. And then even with, how we get a rebroadcast, right? We get a rebroadcast of the fight, you know what I'm saying? So let's say that following week where they do a rebroadcast of the fight, so instead of how they have another fight come on the next week or whatever, what they can do is one network gets 2 undercards and the other network gets 2 undercards, and they can show them at staggered times. Maybe HBO starts the telecast at 5 o'clock and or 7 o'clock. Showtime starts one at 9 o'clock, and they ended up actually putting the main event on at the same time on both networks, so you can really kind of pick which one you want to watch. Or they can put them on at the same time. It don't fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? It'd be fucking phenomenal, amazing. And they can throw, some bullshit fight on with that. Not necessarily a bullshit fight. They can throw something together and, or that's when they can directly go back to competing. They take a fight that they deem more worthy of viewership, put that fight on as the undercard or the overlay for the rebroadcast of the Bradley Mayweather main event, from the week prior. Shit, man. Can y'all imagine the drama and shit that can pop off between De La Hoya and Schaefer and Defoe and Arum? You can even get like a celebrity mediator. I don't know who, maybe a Teddy Atlas, or even somebody who don't have shit to do with boxing. Maybe a fucking Rudy Giuliani or something. If I'm not mistaken, that guy was a lawyer or something. Fucking Judge Joe Brown or some shit, Judge Mathis. Just some kind of neutral mediator, celebrity almost, to, keep everything in perspective. Keep one side from going off the handle and shit, I think that it's the perfect time for the shit to happen. You got Pacquiao pretty much out of the picture. You have Bob Arum in a dilemma because he claims that he can't promote guys like Rigondeaux and Bradley, or they're not big draws. You got Mayweather in a dilemma of not really necessarily having an opponent that the fans would like to see him fight. And in all honesty, and all of the fighters available, Tim Bradley, for basketball, for boxing fans, I'm sitting here looking at ESPN and shit. For boxing fans, Tim Bradley is the most deserving and capable opponent that Floyd Mayweather could fight. That I think that people could even be remotely interested in. And I think the time is perfect. Floyd Mayweather has exhausted his Golden Boy roster, even though he claims he's not a part of Golden Boy. Bob Arum is kind of at the end of his leash with, some of his fighters. And I think this Cold War shit has gone on long enough. And, it's the perfect time to make shit pop off now, Boxing has been getting a lot more publicity than it has been. This would be a perfect time to put boxing back in the spotlight, maybe even on network television. Not saying that fight would be on network television, but I'm just saying with the cross promotion that, one promoter wouldn't necessarily have to do all the work, because boxing is the only sport where they directly compete for similar markets. The Detroit Tigers and Detroit Red Wings are not going to be playing at the same time in the same place. They're not going to have a home game in Detroit at the same time that the Tigers are going to have a home game in Detroit. It's not going to happen. The Tigers are not going to play at 105 on a Sunday when the fucking Detroit Lions start play at 1 o'clock on a Sunday. It's not going to happen. So why in the fuck would boxing promoters try and put boxing on at the same time as another boxing promoter? You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. They can make much more money, and it makes much more sense if they work together as opposed to if they worked against each other. I think the time is perfect, man. They both have their stars, their promotional teams that they work with as networks, and they can make a lot of money working together. Just sometimes, they don't have to do this shit all the time, or annually even. They can do it, this is the perfect time to make that shit happen. I think that they should go ahead and try and make it happen and watch the motherfucking dollar signs roll in and, make that shit pop off. I mean, just think, a fucking negotiation show between Top Rank and Golden Boy, hell, they can do a 4-part series on that shit alone. And that's without a fight even being scheduled. Just that shit alone would be compelling TV. And they can both do their own shows, You could even have the, Lampley and the Fight Game talk about it, I mean, man, I can't see why they haven't thought about this shit and done it already. It's simple. It's easy. It's just simple interview style. It's not like you gotta have camera crews going all over the place. You get a fucking room. You tell these motherfuckers to come down, and you make this show happen. At the same time, both promoters can promote fighters that we haven't really heard much about. It's a chance for both entities to promote on both networks. I mean, it works every way possible. I don't see why the fuck they don't do it. It's stupid. Oh man, anywho, I want to talk about real quick. I just watched First Take, and they did their interview with Sugar Ray Leonard. And in the interview, it was interesting. Sugar Ray Leonard said some interesting things. And I'm looking forward to watching this 30 for 30 in a little while of the No Mas. Like my last couple videos, I've been talking about some interesting boxing programming that's come on as of late that I think just not getting the credit that I believe that it deserves. You know, I talked about the Ali movie. That shit was fucking phenomenal to me. It was excellent, you know. They talked about him and his fight against the war. And, you know, I even heard King Fight News talk about, you know, that, you know, Zone 6 brought this shit up, man. This dude was fighting against the United States government and jail time. And these motherfucking fighters today won't even fight against the damn networks and promoters. These motherfuckers won't even stand up to their promoters and say, hey, we need to try and make this fight happen. I don't give a fuck that y'all two don't get along, but I need this fight to happen. You know? Nobody's standing up against the promoters and shit, man. So, I'm looking forward to the No Miles 30 for 30, and in conjunction with Divine Sense, his video with the Mayweather versus Bradley movement or campaign. I'm with it. I want to see the fight. I've been saying that, you know what I'm saying? And this ain't just some shit that I just started saying. Go ahead and check my old videos. You know what I'm saying? I said that there's no way that Mayweather could be the best ever. He ain't even fighting the best motherfuckers who's fighting currently in his weight division. You know? People want to say, you know, well, it's not his fault and all that old shit, but it ain't not his fault. He tells you all the time that he's a free agent and he don't have no boss and all this shit. Make it happen. Or at least make me know that you tried to make it happen. But, you know, this is not a Mayweather bashing video. I'm not trying to bash Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? I'm just not so sold on him like a lot of guys are, you know? I mean, you know, he's a terrific talent. And I actually have grown to like him more as a person than I have as a fighter. It's really strange, you know? But I would definitely like to see him get in the ring with Tim Bradley and show, you know, that, you know, I mean, Tim Bradley been in there and doing his thing, and, you know, he don't make excuses for why he can't or don't or won't fight certain motherfuckers. So, you know, I would like to see it happen. I'm down with the campaign. Bradley versus, or Mayweather versus Bradley. How about that? Mayweather versus Bradley. Rollo Jenkins, holla at your boy.
It be like double cup and I'm faded. High as fuck, but I made it to this party. Cause my nature make them naughty bras get naked. So I roll up and I face it. With my dick out and she face it. Got that white lick and that dark lick. I don't mix it though, I'm no racist. See, I'm off this, on that. Chuck Taylor, snapback, Levi's, 501s. No shirt, I show tats. You talk shit, I buzz back. Mac P's what I'm reppin' from the basement of that cribbo. Snatch that charm right off your necklace. I'm so reckless, I can't help it. But check, you gon' respect it if you hatin'. I won't hesitate to send you to that reverend. The story of my life, yes, I'm the one that'll tell it. And I know I'm about to make it. Ask anybody who read it. Hello world, great morning. Welcome to my performance. See, my city is the stage. I hope that you all enjoy it. I kick it like Johnny Cage. Make it my own lane. You niggas are carpooling, you running, we still shooting. But
I put in work like a 9 to 5. No days off, call that shit that overtime. I put in work like a 9 to 5. No days off, call that shit that overtime.
Yeah, it be like yesterday's the past. Tomorrow is a blessing, and today is just a gift. That's why we call it the present. I stay with my lethal weapon, tucked in my Danny Glover. Boxing, you niggas watch, we taking over the summer. So here's my toast to the winner. Yes, I'm toasting myself, hating on that dilemma. It's probably bad for your health. I mean, really, let's be honest. It's like a K to your chest, and no, I don't know DJ Khaled, but nigga, you know the rest. I'm so fucking fresh. I swear I can't believe it. They know I'm from the crib, can't do nothing but repeat it. Now I'm riding down the mile, and your chick, she wanna see it. Hit that pussy like I'm Michael, so you know I had to beat it off the wall. Yeah, I just want it all. I'm looking for right now, you trying for the next fall. I got a feeling, nigga, really ain't nobody fucking with the squad. I be reppin' Mac P, we in the building, so I'm yelling, hello world, great morning. Welcome to my performance. See, my city is the stage. I hope that you all enjoy it. I kick it like Johnny Cage, making my own lane. You niggas are carpooling, you running, we still shooting, but
I put in work like a 9 to 5. No days off, call that shit that overtime. I put in work like a 9 to 5. No days off, call that shit that overtime.